Good day to you, people of the internet. Welcome to Morning Call for Friday, the 8th of March 2019. This is last day of the week, as you know. Generally good news. Before I let you go back to the rest of your workday, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the tech news that have plagued us yesterday and will plague us today. It's actually still very, very quiet week this, but I picked out some interesting stuff, and so let's get right into that. The first news is, you might remember the Equifax breach. That was this credit rating company that got owned really badly in 2017, and that is being investigated now by a U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security. And it turns out their security was abysmal. It was really bad. They, like, some software they were patching on like a local level, some of it like internationally for the whole company. This is this random stuff, like their intrusion protection system had like an expired SSL certificate, couldn't work correctly. So they got owned by a security vulnerability in Apache Struts, and the guy who was the admin of that wasn't invited to the security meetings. He wasn't on the mailing list. They didn't have regular security meetings apparently for a long time. And it just took them way too long to like even figure out that there was a problem, then fix it, and then it took them ages to tell people about it. So that was all so bad that the US government is now deliberating how they can make it illegal for other companies in the US to be that hard word. Still a bit tired, to be honest. I still haven't caught up with my sleep. To be as negligent with their IT security. So they wanna put in some laws actually that sound like familiar if you in Germany, like they want to compel companies to report when they had breaches like this, which there's a law they just recently introduced in Germany. And yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a good idea. I'm always a bit skeptical. I always think it doesn't work when the state try to do something like this, but you know, it has some impact. At least people take it more seriously then. But I mean, if you read through this and you think about the company you're working at, I mean, some of this, you know, might be happening at your workplace. I've certainly worked at places where they had problems like this in the past. I mean, the big problem here is that I mean, it's not just any company. They're a credit rating company, and not only do they have a lot of data, they have a lot of very sensitive data, and they lost a lot of that. So yeah, it wasn't good. We've talked about on this show quite a lot about, it's been in the news a lot, that Huawei, there's skepticism against Huawei that they're basically building Chinese spying tech into their networking equipment, and the US has said we don't trust them. And there have been discussions in Germany as well, because they're currently starting to build out the 5G infrastructure, and Huawei technology is a part of that. And so some have said Huawei should be banned from being put in there. Oh, wow, I just see, I forgot something. I didn't update my day thing here on the overlay. It still says it's yesterday. Let me just quickly fix that. I can kind of fix that live on the show. It's not Thursday. People will get confused if they watch this back. So let's just, oh, there we go, fixed. Sorry, just noticed that. Anyway, so yeah, 5G, Huawei. People are skeptical, but the German intelligence services have said they have no indications for this. GCHQ has said basically the same thing, but the debate is still raging on. And now what they are trying to do, so the government has said that, so the Bundesnetzagentur, the agency of the German government responsible for our networks, a bit like, I guess, the FTC in the US, says they want to have new guidelines for building out the 5G network, and they're saying they only want to use technology from trustworthy vendors. And I'm putting that in air quotes because with any of these, it's like they're just trying to define what that means. But basically, they want to audit the components and the code like that is built in there, and that the Bundesamt für Sicherheit in der Informationstechnik, the BSI, so the German Information Security Agency, is supposed to do this. But I mean, they have said they don't want to. So the BSI has said they don't want to. They want Huawei being part of it. Other German network companies like Telekom, who's huge here, like German Telecom, they're saying they don't want to exclude Huawei. They're basically saying they provide a lot of equipment that is like hard to get in other places, and you'll be slowing down the build out, and we can't really afford that because we're way behind as it is. I think this is generally a good idea. I just don't know how the BSI, I don't think they have the manpower to like look at the code. And I mean, I guess they need specialists. I mean, even if you have people, this is very special equipment. I don't know. Are they going to get people from the CCC in who've been investigating this kind of stuff over the recent years? I don't know. I think it's generally a good idea, but I'm not sure it'll work. Like, even if they get the code, which I guess is debatable, I still think it's questionable that they actually can check it, or like can check it in a way that's actually relevant. I mean, they can certainly check it, but like, will they find, if there are backdoors in there, will they find those backdoors? I don't know. Interesting story. This will be developing for quite a while to come, and I'll keep you updated on this. Like, I think this Huawei thing is far from over. The whole 5G situation in Germany is a big debate. There's lots of work. Currently, they're debating if they just, like, I think they want to start build it out. So the auctioning off of the spectrums is coming up, and people are deciding what they're going to do, and so that the big companies are saying they want it for Industry 4.0. I still don't know where the 2.3 or at least the 3.0 version was, but anyway, so they want to build it on huge company campuses, and they want to use it for that, so they don't have to cable everything, I guess, and then just provide everything with 5G. And that goes into which frequencies they're going to use. It's very complicated. Apparently, it's a very complicated spectrum. They need to discuss in what regions they can use what frequencies. And so I found it hilarious when at Mobile World Congress they had all these 5G phones. You're like, we don't even have we didn't know what frequencies, like where we can use what frequencies. And anyway, currently this industry is saying, okay, we want this first. Don't even know if it's a consumer thing right now. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep you updated on that. There's going to be lots of stuff developing there. So this Quadriga CX cryptocurrency story is still going on. That is the Register wrote about this and had some stuff in their article that I wasn't reporting on yesterday. So I thought I'll I'll update you on this. So basically, as I said, this is like this cryptocurrency. The owner died, and he was the only one. Apparently, they were saying company, his widow, who's doing the bankruptcy proceedings, was saying he was the only guy who had access to like these offline cold wallets. And as I reported, they looked into these cold wallets, and as we know, all the money is gone. But now, what comes out in the register story, what I found really interesting, is that all these withdrawals from these cold wallets occurred before the guy died. So he died in India, traveling through Jaipur on December 9th. And there was a lot of stuff being emptied in April, and then in December, and the last one in December the 3rd. Now, this all happened before he died. Now, I don't know what that means. We know that there's bankruptcy proceedings. There's this Ernst and Young are looking into this. You know, they're a big financial consultancy company, I guess. They're winding this company down, and they have found some money. They have seized some cash assets, like normal currency assets, that they're going to use to pay some of the debtors of this cryptocurrency. But if I go into conspiracy mode, and since this is also going out on YouTube, that's probably something to do. You know, is he really dead? I know they had a death certificate. Apparently, we know that as part of the bankruptcy proceedings. But like, did he transfer all his money and then just disappeared? I mean, we don't know if that's true, but it would be a good movie plot at least. It's kind of like Ernst and Young is saying they're having lots of troubles because these people didn't keep like proper records, financial records, and apparently they transferred stuff to other exchanges and other accounts, and you can't really tell is this a company account or just private account of people working at this exchange. Is like weird. Kraken, another very big crypto exchange, has actually put out a reward of $100,000 for information that leads to the significant break. In the case, we don't really know what that means, but that's interesting. I guess they are owed a significant amount of money in this. So yeah, just interesting story. We'll see if something comes out. Maybe he'll surface in a few years and they'll find him and he just tried to disappear. I mean, it's a good story. I don't know if it's, we can't tell really if it's just it's fun to speculate, I think. Space news. A bit of mad space news. I mean, you must have heard about that hole in the ISS. It's another mystery where they had to fix the ISS because they lost pressure, and they actually had to go out and look at it and stuff, and they don't know what it is. And there was this theory that a worker on the ground just like banged a hole into the capsule and then didn't want to admit it and just patched it up. But apparently that's been disproved. And now the Russians, who have said, obviously a country that has a big part in the ISS, they have said that they think this was deliberate sabotage, and they now want to install surveillance cameras on the ISS. So I guess they're saying they don't trust the other astronauts, and they have to get special equipment. They have to train astronauts, so they can't do it now, like immediately, obviously. But that's a huge undertaking, and this just seems like a political move to me. I find it really weird that they're basically saying they don't trust like the other. I mean, the ISS has always been like an example of like even countries that had problems on Earth, like working together. I mean, while you're up there, I mean, who would sabotage it? I mean, you're sitting in a amazingly thin tin can that you can't get out of. You're incredibly vulnerable. I would not believe that any of the astronauts going up there would even like think about doing something like that. That just sounds like weird. This whole thing just sounds like a political move. And of course, they already have cameras in the ISS. I don't know. I mean, they're already being filmed while they do a lot of this stuff. Also, the ISS is tiny. Like, how could have somebody done this? I mean, I guess when everybody was sleeping, like wake up and then punch a hole. But like, I mean, that's You'd think somebody would notice that thing is really small. Just like that's just like an incredibly weird story. But I thought interesting. Microsoft. So Microsoft news. Microsoft being open source company now. They have open sourced a very critical component of Windows now. And don't get your hopes up. I'm joking here. Microsoft has of course open sourced the Windows calculator. Way under the MIT license, because they want to encourage the community to build a quote even better user experience. Yeah, they want to build that in partnership with the community. I mean, it's a fucking calculator. Like, what kind of user experience do you want to build? I mean, come on. This is Microsoft just like easing themselves with their toe into the hot bath of open source madness. But come on. Ooh. Thank you for the cheer, Jonathan. I salute you. Thank you very much. Oh, see, you broke my your username's too long. You broke my UI again. Oh God, now I have to adjust my UI again. And now I spilled coffee. Oh no, I spilled coffee. Give me a second. Spilled coffee on my Steam Deck. No. And I switched it over to a different mode. Give me a second. Everything's falling apart. What have you done, Jonathan? No. Well, it still works. Derailing stream since 2019. Is that who came up with the stream pen testing? This is just more stream pen testing here. If you're listening to the podcast, I've just spilled coffee and I'm frantically trying to mop it up with a very small tissue. Switch to this camera so I can't really see. But yeah. So first of all, I need to get more coffee now. I also killed my stopwatch while rescuing my Steam Deck, so now I don't know. Don't know how long this show is gonna be, but we're just gonna have to live with this. This is 100% live, so thanks for the cheer. Perfectly nice derailment there. Everything's falling apart. Anyway, yes, Microsoft has open sourced the calculator. I mean, what the fuck? Can't really say more about this, but I guess they're trying to work themselves up to at some point open sourcing something significant. So that's all the real stories. I have some stuff to round out this show. Some fun stuff, the interesting stuff, just stuff to make you think about on the day. And so the next thing I want to talk about is a comment on the register, which is not very long and great. So I want to read this out verbatim. So the title is Tim Apple, Larry Oracle, Ginny layoffs. It works. So why the heck not? This is Andrew Orlovsky writing on the register. At last, a Trump innovation we can get all behind. So let me read this out because this is hilarious. U.S. Press Donald J. Trump may not leave a wholesome legacy behind him, but one of POTUS's more useful innovations was showcased yesterday: the revival of the occupational surname. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple, Trump told Apple CEO Tim Cook as he sat alongside the Silicon Valley boss. The Donald was talking up his previous efforts to get American businesses to manufacture more products at home, to invest in the country. He then patted Cook, crossed out, Apple, on the back, metaphorically speaking. In the past, President Trump has referred to Lockheed Martin CEO Marilyn Hewson as Marilyn Lockheed. While this predictably brought scorn from the media, it's something we can all welcome wholeheartedly. He's busy, you're busy, but Trump's truncation conveys all the important information you need. Who does Tim Thingy work for again? You don't need to know much more. It's also consistent with cultures where surnames are derived from occupation, which is a very long list indeed in English. Same thing in German, basically. Life would be so much easier if all CEOs were eponymous CEOs, such as Charles Wang of Wang, Mike. This is great. Charles Wang of Wang, Michael Dell of Dell, Dave Hewlett, and Bill Packard of HP. But while Meltdown era Talk came very close with Dido, Queen of Carnage, in brackets, sadly, they are not. So we urge the technology industry to pick up the gauntlet and formally rename the key executive officers appropriately. Larry Oracle, Satya Microsoft, Tencent Pony Ma, and Ginny Layoffs. So this is a reference, of course, to IBM. I love this. This is great. I think we should do that. I mean, some companies are way ahead. You know, I used to work for Heise, and they're because it's a family-owned business, their CEO is called Heise. So I mean, we should do that. I like that Tim Apple, but that was cool. Yeah. I just thought that was funny. In other news, if you're waiting for Cyberpunk 2077, because, you know, there was that trailer at E3, don't get your hopes up. It's going to be a while. CD Projekt Red has published another video where they're talking about making the game. And Donegan says Tim Cook updated his name on his profile on Twitter. He did that. Let me see. That would be cool. I mean, I like the guy. He's way cooler than Jobs. Gotta give him that. Tim Cook. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, he did. I guess he updated. Okay, I have a problem with showing you this because apparently he updated his name to Tim Apple emoji, and my browser can't show that emoji properly. But let me just see. Should work on the phone, right? Yep. So it's not a generic Apple. It is the Apple, like, company Apple. Apparently that's in Unicode. I had no idea. But yes, he updated his name. So that's pretty rad. Cool guy. And thanks for telling me, Donegan there in the chat. That is really cool. Awesome. Yeah, so Cyberpunk, they are it's gonna be a while. They published a video, basically making of the game and stuff. Oh, I gotta say, this Stream Deck is I keep calling it Steam Deck. It's bloody sturdy. Like, it survived. Like, I bought this, by the way. This is not like, you know, being on Twitch, you have to say that. This wasn't a gift or something. I bought this. Actually got this for my birthday, for my parents. And it survives being doused in coffee quite well. I guess they must have tested for that. Which would make sense for streamers. Anyway, yeah, so it's gonna take a while. Cyberpunk, they're working on it. I'm waiting for this game. Looks interesting, but, you know, don't get. Basically, the video ends with a little bit of a don't get your hopes up. It's gonna take a while. And then just to ease you out of the show, I had another gaming story which I found great. So if you played Red Dead Redemption, which I really can't because I don't have a console, and I don't want to buy a console for just one game. But if you're playing that, it's a great game, and you might know that journal that. I mean, if you're playing, you know, so the main character draws into his journal, like, as part of the story. He, like, has, like, little journal entries and draw stuff when you find something in the world. And obviously in Red Dead Online, you don't have that because, you know, I mean, in the game they made all these animations, and, you know, when you trigger an event, they can put that in. But in Red Dead Online, there's, you know, too much content, and they don't know what you're doing, so they can't do that. But there's a guy who is on Reddit who made his own journal, like, for his Red Dead Online play, like, in the same style, like in a physical journey, and it's pretty amazing. It's like entries like, so today I got shot in the face while picking herbs. I lost my hat, but somehow I survived. Spent 2 hours hunting down XX Pussy Slayer 14XX. with a little drawing of him getting shot in the head. It's pretty cool. I love fishing. Nothing calms me like the sound of water and being one with nature. It's therapy. Now imagine my surprise when I found out I was the one being fish, and then he's getting lassoed by somebody. Some good drawings as well. They're actually better than the ones in game, pretty much. That horse, that is my horse Tim. My horse Tim is a good boy. He takes me where I need to go, day or night. He carries my pelts and comes when I whistle. I love him. Isn't that amazing? I love people like that. I do often keep journals when I play certain games. I thought that was great. Yeah, so I thought that was great. I hope you're having a good Friday. Try not to spill as much coffee as I do. I'm gonna go and fix my my stream overlay now that Jonathan helpfully has helped debugging. And I'll see you around next week, I guess. Hope you have a good last day at work and a nice heroic pose. It's just Jonathan. Yeah, well done, mate. Anyway, yeah, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday with some more tech news. Until then, I've been Fab Tech News. See you next week.